Good evening, folks. So, I've been sort of off the reservation, if you will, for a while, but I have been posting shorts because I feel that I get a little bit more engagement. And then when I do these long form videos, which don't get much, you you can tell. It's plain as day. But besides that, I've been trolling on Twitter just a smidge. And I've come to the conclusion, and it's not really a hard conclusion to come to, but this conclusion I've come to is that the left hates anything to the right of Pol Pot, Lenin, and Stalin, and wants each one of us in a shallow ditch. I've flat out convinced of that, and it doesn't take too much to prod and poke the left for them to essentially get mad at you and start calling you a Nazi and, an evil insurrectionist and all these other terms that they throw out that Biden and there's sycophants put out the marching order to these freaking quislings out there, and they basically follow through with it. They call us names, and then we call them names, and then they call us evil names, and they say, this and that. And it isn't hard to prod these people into violating terms of service. Trust me on that. They do it with glee. Let me tell you something. They do it and they love it. So my main question for you out there in Lazoland and the hinterlands and the other lands out there, basically, is the left even redeemable at this point? I say no. They're not redeemable. They're evil, vile, vicious people. And these are the same people that accuse us of being evil, vile, and vicious. In fact, all you have to do is just do a cursory search on YouTube and Twitter and these other social media platforms to find out how the left acts when you don't agree with their political ideology, when you push back on them, what they do to you. Well, low grade, they just call you names and spit at you, possibly, and just move on. The other ones will fight you. And in the worst, case scenario, is if you're in the blue cities and the blue states, they'll up and goddamn end your existence. That is what they do. That is what the left is known for. Let me ask you this. Is anybody on the right going out there slaughtering the innocents? Are they out there trying to fight people in a McDonald's parking lot? Are they up there twerking as they, ransack a Wawa in Philadelphia? No, they don't. So why is the left side of the political spectrum doing it? Well, it's easy. When you give those lunatics carte blanche saying that we're not going to arrest you, and even if we do, we're not going to get bail for it. You're just going to get released. What you should not get is bail at any point. But these freaking lunatics out there are getting sent back out on the street, and what do? You guessed it, they hurt one of their family members. That is what they do. Their left is, for all intents and purposes, is known for doing this. And what is the people right of the political spectrum supposed to do about it? Well, far be it for me to give out advice, but we are doing it. We're pushing back a little bit, sort of. But other than that, they can be violent, but the minute I would say collectively seeing, we on the right become even remotely, indignant, maybe a little pissed off, we're labeled as violent insurrectionists. So what? So we're at a crossroads now, and I honestly think that we are far beyond mending those fences. Now I know it's out there for you Christians out there, including myself, who don't want this to happen, who would love to mend fences, who would love to come to sort of like consensus. Can't do it. Not with these lunatics. Not in this political climate. It can't be done. I cannot break bread with somebody that is actively trying to end my life or actively trying to put my family in a shallow ditch. It's impossible. It cannot be done. Impossible. And it's funny thing is that the left thinks that we're the fault at all the world's problems. That if we just follow through with what they want, everything will be fine. It won't, but that's what they think. They think that by removing us from the equation, that their utopia will come to fruition. It won't, but that's what they think. The left, as Salty with Cracker say, the left is AIDS. The ideology is a cancer. It's a frickin' tumor on this fading republic. Now, do I think that if we removed everybody on the left side of the political spectrum out of the equation, that life would be better? Perhaps it would, but you would create a new problem. There's always going to be a left, there's always going to be a right, there's always going to be a center. And it doesn't matter if you leftoid idiots out there think that if you remove everybody on the right, that you'll be fine. Nay, I say, nay. Because what the left loves to do is find an enemy. Because if we get removed as the enemy, if you will, they'll just figure out a new enemy. So anybody on the left side of the political spectrum that is more right towards center, you're the enemy now. Because you're not saddling up to their stupid woke BS ideology. That's my opinion, okay? And we're other than that, there's nothing else we can do. We can't break bread with you. We can't come to a consensus. No one wants to, dare I say, negotiate anything. It's always my way or the highway. The right will negotiate because the right always negotiates because they don't want war, they don't want strife, they don't want some sort of kinetic action. So for us on the right, we're always trying to, we acknowledge it's going to happen, but we always try to let's just, let's try to negotiate. But how do you negotiate with somebody who's at the wheel or at the helm of the ship going over the falls? All we're doing is just to slow it down a little bit. Just slow the boat down. Slow the car down. That's our negotiating tactic right now. It's just, let's slow the car down. Even though the end result is we're going off the cliff, we just want to slow it down. Maybe we can get through their thick frickin' heads on the left. It's impossible. It's impossible. And there is no government solution to this. There is no breaking bread solution to this. There is no coming to a neutral point and hashing it out in a safe, legal, and peaceful manner. That time it's done. It is done. My evidence? Just go on Twitter right now. Go on Twitter and try to peacefully argue with anybody left side of political spectrum, left side of Pol Pot, Lenin, and Stalin. You can't do it. You can't do it. Because even if you say that J6 was misunderstood, a lot of dummies out there that should have been doing it, but they did anyways. If you even try to have some sort of nuanced thought about it, guess what? You're thrown to the wolves. You're evil. You're a part of the problem. At FBI, there's a guy who's saying that J6 is not a big deal. That's what you get thrown at. That's what gets thrown at you. You get labeled as a conspiracy theorist, and you get labeled as a person who supports J6, which isn't the case. Every smart person knew that was a frickin' TARP. They knew that was a frickin' Fed glowy op. It was a psyop. It was to get the government more power to come after their political enemies. Well, congratulations. They're coming after us. They're coming after preachers that are praying at abortion clinics. They're coming at people that just walk through the Capitol. Grandma, memas with little flags, throwing their ass in jail without due frickin' process. That's what's going. You cannot negotiate with the left. They want us in a ditch. They want your family in a ditch. That's at the worst. At best, they want to throw your ass in a re-education camp. So that's where we're at, folks. You can't negotiate with them. At this point, I guess that's it. It's done. They've crossed the Rubicon. And we allowed them to do it. We allowed them by just saying, being contrarian, just kind of going, well, you know, I don't want to bring back. It's cool. You know what? Just let the left do what they want to do. Maybe they won't bother us. Nope, they want to bother us. Nope, they want to get into our business. Nope, they want to put you into a re-education camp. At best. And at worst, they want to throw you, your family, and I in a shallow ditch. Believe that. Because these lefties will not stop until they remove you and I from the equation.